Hi there. So today I'm going to be doing some stretches for the legs, particularly the hamstrings, but also some of the other parts of the legs. One of the comments I get most often when I tell people I'm a yoga teacher is, oh, I can't do yoga because I can't touch my toes. And one of the things that gets in the way of touching the toes is these muscles on the backs of the legs, the hamstrings. So we're going to stretch those out. I like to stretch the hamstrings on my back because it helps to keep your back safe. One of the problems with the hamstrings being tight is that they can start to round your lower back when you forward fold. And that's not a very safe or comfortable position for your back to be in, and sometimes can be the cause of back pain. You might find it useful to have a strap for this. I've got a proper yoga strap, but you can use a tie or a dressing gown cord. I would suggest something that doesn't stretch though. And then please make your way down onto your back. And we'll start with the knees bent. And then I'm going to do this on my right leg. You'll obviously do both sides. I'll just show you on one side. So we're going to draw the right knee in towards the chest and then take the middle of your strap and loop it around the sole of your foot. And then start to extend that foot up towards the ceiling. I'm going to take one end of my strap in each hand and then have my shoulders on the floor and the arms are nice and straight. So I walk my hands up the strap until I've got a bit of tension on that strap. Now please don't think that you need to bring your leg desperately close to your face. If it's out there somewhere, it's okay. It's not a problem. And if you've got a little bend in the knee, that's also okay. What we're trying to do here is to find our starting point. So if you bring your leg in just to the point where you start to feel a little bit of a stretch in the back of the leg, in the hamstring. And at this point, you might just notice, where is my foot in relation to the ceiling? Or if you're outside, if you're lucky enough to be outside, you've got something you can reference there, a tree maybe. Where is my foot in relation to that tree? And then I could start to increase my stretch a couple of ways. So first of all, make sure that the back of your right hip is down on the floor. You don't want to be pushing the hip away from the earth. And then to get a little bit more stretch, we could start to pull the toes of the right foot back towards the face and push the heel up a little bit more towards the ceiling. And already you might start to feel a little bit more intensity into the stretch. Another thing you might like to try is to slide your left leg out down the mat. And that will, again, change the sensation that you feel in both of your legs. You can take a couple of breaths there. So we don't do pain. So if anything is painful, please back off. And we don't do pins and needles either. Both of those are signals from your body that something's not quite right. So back off if you experience either of those. So we're going to change things up a little bit now. We're going to bring the straps into your right hand. Now, if you at any stage feel like your straps are going to slip, you can wind them around your hand to get a better grip. We're going to take the other hand, your spare hand, and place that onto the same side hip. So I've got left hand on left hip. And then I'm going to gently open my right leg out to the right. Now, the important thing here is that we try and keep the back of the left hip on the floor. So I'm going to go very slowly with this right leg, gradually creeping it out to the right. And I'm checking all the time that the back of my left hip is staying down on the floor. Now that might mean that you can't open the leg very far, and that is okay. Because we're trying to control this descent. We're also getting a little bit of work for the core, which is always good. When you find the end of your range of motion, you can hold it there for a couple of breaths. And then gently bring that leg back into the center. Let's take a little breather here, folding the leg in. If you need to shake your hand out, you can do that. It does get a little tiring on the hand. And then we're going to return that foot up. I'm going to take the two straps in my other hand now. So I'm now crossing my arm across my body. This time, my right arm, I'm going to use my right thumb to insert my right thumb into my right hip crease. So by that, I mean the space between your hip and your top of your thigh bone. So if I show you on the other side, it's about here. So I'm going to take my thumb and I'm going to push quite strongly on the top of my thigh bone to move my leg away. So I'll show you that again in case you need to have another look. I push my thumb onto the top of my thigh bone really strongly to move my thigh bone away from my pelvis. And then I can, keeping that pressure on with my thumb, I'm going to take that right foot across my body over to the left. Now you might find it doesn't move very far. If you get 6 inches, you're doing quite well there. I'm still keeping the pressure on with my thumb as I move that leg over to the left. So this is a nice little stretch for your IT band, the band of tissue that runs down the outside of the leg. Let's bring that leg back. Again, you might like to just fold your knee in and have a little break at this point. We've got one more stretch with we've got 2 more stretches to do. We're going to take that foot back up. Now, so I've got my straps in my left hand again, but I'm going to take my right arm out at shoulder height. And feel free to wrap the strap around your hand if you'd like to. And then I'm going to take my right leg across my body into a spinal twist. So I can allow my right hip to come away from the floor here. Now, how far you go is up to you. Yeah. So I'm lucky I might be able to get my foot down on the floor on the far side. I've been doing this all day. So if your leg is floating up here somewhere, don't worry about it. It's okay. Just go where you feel is a good position for you. So again, now we're stretching a little bit down the outside of this hip, the outer part of the hamstring. And then let's draw that leg back in. We're going to fold up this knee once more. And we're going to let go of the strap here. So I've got one more stretch for you. It's called a P&F stretch. It's a little bit different to some of the other stretches you might do. But I personally have found it very useful for opening up the hamstrings. So you can have this left leg bent or straight, whichever feels best for you. But now I'm going to loop my hands around the back of my right thigh. If your arms are not long enough to do that, grab your strap again and use your strap as an arm extender. Then I'm going to take my foot up to the ceiling once more. So again, it's not about having a perfectly straight leg. You just want to find that place where you've got a little bit of tug in the hamstrings. So I extend my leg, and the key action here, there's 2 key actions, is to pull my toes back towards my face and push the heel up to the ceiling. So the leg is quite active. And then I'm going to push my leg away from my face. Now that might sound a bit counterintuitive, but it gives you a different kind of stretch, which may just be the one that you need. So I'm pushing my leg into my hands. You notice the arms are straight. And I'm resisting that movement of my leg with my hands. So my hands are trying to pull my leg back towards my face as my leg is pushing away from my face. And then let's fold that leg back in one more time and turn your foot to the floor. So you might want to just go through that once if you've got time, or you can repeat a few times if you have a few more minutes to spare. But what might be interesting is once you've finished, to go back to where you started from, or don't forget to do both sides. You can go back to where you started from, and then take a register of where your leg is now. So we can draw that knee in, extend the foot up towards the ceiling, and then bring it towards your face until you just feel the beginnings of a stretch. And then you might notice where your foot is in relation to your ceiling or your tree or whatever it was you used as a marker. And you might notice whether your foot has come any closer to your face. And then we can fold that leg back in, repeat the process on the other side, and just notice if there is any difference. Okay, thank you so much for watching. I wish you all a very wonderful rest of your day, and watch out for some more videos coming soon. Thank you so much. Take care.